Well, don't you hate it when you have to record things 3 times because the first time you messed up, the second time you were muted? Oh my lord. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video. This time is going to be a tier list. Not what I usually have on my channel, but this is just one things that I'd like to probably have on record on my channel just to, whenever I go back to this channel in the future, I look at things, I'm like, huh, well, that was different. But yeah, I've been on a nostalgia trip. Buying Beyblades, buying Kamen Rider stuff and whatnot, things of my childhood that are like a bit more tangible. Not action figures and stuff, but like things from the show and that type of thing. But yeah, um, Kamen Rider. It's a tokusatsu like Super Sentai or Power Rangers for people in the West. Tokusatsu is just superheroes for Japan. Kind of like how we have indigestion. Kind of like how we have. Oh, I'm dying. Kind of like how we have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all those things. Comics that I like to talk about on my channel. Sometimes, but yeah. Today we're going to do a tier list, and this tier list is going to be based on just how much I like the show and what I recommend it to people. I could probably base things off of like the suit and costume itself, the story, or the gimmicks in the show. Which some of the earlier ones of the series didn't really have gimmicks in the show until later on. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So this video is not like an hour long because my first recording was an hour long and my second one was like 30 minutes. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. I could probably rant on more about other stuff, but I don't want to repeat myself a bunch of times. So I am going to first off go ahead and add a row that is called haven't seen or not seen, because some of these shows are before my time. And if you guys didn't know, Kamen Rider has 3 eras at the moment: Showa, Heisei, and then a new one that I don't remember what it was called. So yeah, and the newer ones are, I think, the last 4 in the row here. Well, you guys can't even see, so let me move my freaking camera up here so you guys can see. So the last 4 or last 3 down here in the row are the new era. And let me go ahead and put the Showa era, which is the ones that I haven't seen, except for some, in the not seen. So I haven't seen this one, and let me not say this one 500 times. And I'm going to go ahead and put these on C because I watched them growing up. Didn't watch them a whole bunch, but I did watch like 20 or so episodes of it. And I think this is Black and then Black RX. They were good. I liked them. It had a lightsaber thing going on about it, probably because Star Wars was like popular at the time or something like that. So yeah. What else? And I think that's it. So these I haven't seen, and now let's talk about the ones that I have seen and I love because they were things I saw as a kid and I super loved them. So Kuga, number 1, the very first Kamen Rider that I ever saw on VHS. If you guys even remember what VHS is, it was also one of the things that my aunt brought to me, which I love to death. I love my aunt to death because she is such a cool person, and she studied in Japan. And whenever she would come back, she would always bring VHS tapes of like these Kamen Riders for me and my little brother to watch. And also, I would probably maybe see some of them. I'm pretty sure it was Black and Black RX, the ones I saw TV reruns when I was a kid. Where I lived not in Japan, where I lived as a kid, which is Washington State. I think they had Japanese reruns of TV shows, of which Godzilla was one of them. So that's also one of the reasons why I really like Godzilla, other than Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, because I watched them growing up as a kid on Japanese television, and they were luckily subbed. so I could actually just read what the heck was going on. I think I also saw reruns of like Pokemon too. So yeah, Kuga, awesome. The suit is awesome. The story is awesome. It is dark, gritty, and he's also one of the only characters in the rest of the Heisei series that is a one-man army, which is really sad to see because I always like to see the Kamen Riders kind of do things themselves and kind of go through their struggles themselves, of course, with the help of regular people that helps them get over it. But yeah, for the most part, Kuga is the last one of those, and everybody else all have help. So yeah. Agito, A for Agito, just because you have a past, present, and future thing going on. Plus, it was I think it was my third one that I watched, because I went back and watched this one after I saw the thing I'm about to talk about in a bit. But yeah, the craziest thing about this one is the monsters in this show, which I forgot. Kuga's was Grongi, and they were cool, kind of. In Agito, well, the monsters shoved people into trees, and that's how they killed them. It was not really something to laugh at, but the funny thing is just that people got shoved into trees, and that's how they died. So yeah, that's what's the craziest thing about Agito. Of course, Agito is really cool, but I think Kuga is just a lot cooler because his final form is dark and gritty like I am sometimes. Ryuki, S tier. Dragons, love dragons. Grew up loving dragons just because dragons is just a big part of Asian culture for some reason, and I just really like dragons growing up. I grew up loving, Western dragons, like European dragons, that type of deal. And then when I grew up a little older than that, I started liking the whole Shenlong because I started watching Dragon Ball a little bit as a kid. So yeah, Ryuki, freaking awesome. Mirror World monsters. The way the monsters kind of killed people were like interesting. I forgot how they did it sometimes, but my most favorite thing about this series is that there was a Kamen Rider for everybody. In that there was like 20 freaking Kamen Riders in this show. 20 freaking Kamen Riders. If you didn't like one of them, you were bound to find one that you liked, okay? You were bound to find one that you liked. And this show was so loved by me and my little brother that we actually freaking put the symbols of our favorite Kamen Riders on pretty much almost anything we wanted to, just because the designs and the icons of the Kamen Rider were cool. Also, Ryuki is also a show that got carried over to the US, and it's called Dragon Knight, but that show failed and got canceled, and I didn't even watch it because most American TV shows are not that great. So yeah, Ryuki, awesome. Fai's pretty good. A very dramatic show, very awesome. I think the best part about this was the story and then the monsters, and especially the design of the monsters. The design of the monsters were freaking awesome. I think that's the most I can really say about this show, while trying to keep this video short and simple. Blade, B. I would put it C, but I think B works better because Blade was one of the shows that I watched later on down the road. I think in my teens, and it was one of the shows that I understood but like didn't really like because it just kind of carried on and all that stuff. Hibiki, I'll put Hibiki in A. Hibiki was cool. It was, the Kamen Riders are pretty much Onis, or ogre demons type of thing, but then they like protect people and they fight other yokai. So this is very much more Japanese oriented Kamen Rider other than the rest, because the rest of them had kind of like their own story, their own background, but Hibiki was very Japanese culture intensive, and it was cool. It was awesome. You had like guitar Onis, I think it was a harp Oni, drum Onis, which is the main guy, which is awesome, threw fireballs and whatnot. Kabuto, freaking awesome. The opening song, amazing, by the way. The suits, amazing. Of course, you had the clunkier version of the suits that always looked like a mess, but when they turned to the slimmer, cooler forms. They always looked freaking awesome. The story was okay though. So Den-O, first off, props to the freaking main actor of the freaking show. He had to act like 6 different characters. Momotaro's the turtle guy, blue guy, the freaking axe guy, and then the breakdancing purple guy, and then he had to act as his wimpy self, which is the main character of the show, and then he had to act like a bunch of other characters and whatnot in other movies. So this guy had a lot of things going for him. Holy moly, props to him, but the show came out amazing. It's a time train station oriented show, a train that travels through time, and they destroy imagines that try to destroy people's past. So this show is pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, these ones go down here because I've seen this one, especially that one too. This one right here though. That's I think soda commercial ad Kamen Rider. It was very weird. Kiva, S tier, vampire, monsters, supernatural, that type of deal. Love it. Music in there as well. Music with monsters, freaking awesome. Violins. The whole story of this past and present is freaking awesome. Absolutely love this show. I think this is like probably, if I was going to rank this and like actually like sort them out, Kiva would probably be in my top 3. Decade, B. Decade, 26 episodes maybe, I think, and then the rest of the episodes are like not really episodes. He makes appearances in movies and other Kamen Rider shows, so it was okay. I think the belt is the coolest part about him. Oh yeah, Kiva's suit, awesomeness. Den-O's design and suits, all the different types of suits, awesomeness. Decade, Barcode. He's the Barcode Kamen Rider. So yeah, it was okay. I think his belt with all the cards that depict the other Kamen Riders is the best part about Decade, and maybe the fact that he can like travel dimensions and whatnot to other Kamen Riders and meet them is pretty cool too. But yeah, that's all I can say for that show. Double detective or private investigator, guy in memory. The main guy's mentor is also a Kamen Rider named Skull, which looks awesome. He looks like what was it? Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. I can't even say it in Spanish. I learned how to say it, but I forgot it. But yeah, Day of the Dead. He looks super Day of the Dead-y as a Kamen Rider, which he looked awesome. And the show itself was pretty freaking cool. O's, S tier, kind of dark a little bit, but gets very lighthearted. Main character, you like him a lot. A very simple guy, minimalistic guy. You know his reason to fight and protect people and all that stuff. So yeah, would recommend this a lot. Oh yeah, just kind of have to reiterate this. S tier would recommend to pretty much anybody and everybody to watch. A tier would most likely recommend. B tier is, you can watch it if you want. C tier is, maybe a little old, and you probably could watch it if you want to, but you don't have to. So yeah, and then not seen is not seen, obviously, but most of the older ones, except for this one, this is a freaking commercial, I'm pretty sure. Most of these would be in C tier. Oh yeah, so Forze, S tier. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the gimmicks. Oz's gimmicks is core medals. Was it Den-O didn't really have a gimmick. It was mostly just cards of imagines, and then you can just slide it to the belt. Kiva was a bat, and then some flutes that are not really flutes, just for the transformations. Double is guy memories. They look like USBs, which is kind of funny. And then now on to Forze. Forze, his gimmick is switches, and they're And honestly, I would buy one just to have as like a fidget thing. Forze is like an anime, astronauts, high school, superhero. Pretty much an anime, honestly, in like live action form. And it was made very well. The main actor, you guys may have seen him from that one show where all these high schoolers get trapped by these old Japanese gods and they have to like kill each other and something like that. Or you may have seen him from the Bleach live action. So yeah, pretty awesome. Very well-known actor playing Forze. He probably liked Kamen Rider growing up, so that's probably why he got the role and whatnot. Or of course he just wanted to find a job. But yeah, Forze, very good show. Absolutely adore it. Comedy, tiny sprinklings of romance. All the monsters are based off of zodiacs. My favorite monster is the Leo because I'm a Leo. I'm a king. I'm a lion. And I roar. But yeah. Ooh, something in my throat. Wizard, B tier. Wizard was okay. The story was okay. The suit, probably my top 10. Very slick, very nice, very clean design. His upgraded forms are very clean as well. But honestly, they just don't stack up to some of the other ones that are just a lot more more creative, you know, like Forze, astronaut, little freaking space shuttle on his head, you know, the design of the suit itself is pretty cool. Kiva is my most favorite design, I think of all time, honestly. Other than Kabuto and Kuga, I like very simple designs, but I think Kiva is the only one who has a very complex design that I absolutely adore. So yeah, Wizard's cool. The gimmick is rings of a wizard, of course. So yeah, Gaim, Orange Samurai, A. Yeah, I'll put him in A. Gaim is very freaking cool. Samurai, fruits, locks, like on a locker. That's the gimmick. The locks with fruits on them that give you power. And then the monsters are like these little creatures that come out of a forest and whatnot called Helheim. Little sprinklings of like Norse mythology a little bit in this, but very mostly samurai focused and whatnot. They do have a knight in there though, and well, they have a lot of references to different types of warriors in other cultures. So yeah, Gaim is pretty freaking cool. Some dancing and whatnot, so it's pretty cool. Drive, B. I do think Drive was cool. Probably put him in top of B. What was it? Cop, detective, type of thing going on. A little bit of romance at the end of it. The enemies are like robots that are already intelligent, not becoming intelligent, but they already are. They wanted to destroy the world and all that stuff. The gimmick is little Hot Wheel cars that make them transform. It's pretty cool. The story is nice. Yeah, the story is actually very well made. The suit itself, though, could get worked on, honestly. At the end of it, you know, you kind of grow to like it, but compared to other suits, I like it a lot less. Ghost, also B tier. He gains the powers of past, like, significant figures in history, that type of deal. Yeah. Not much to say on it. I really love the suit though because it's like a hooded figure and all that stuff. But the thing I hated the most was the freaking belt driver. The thing they transform with. It's a literal freaking giant eyeball. Like, oh man, the gimmick is eyeballs of like, you know, it's like your soul. So it's like the eyeball of a soul and whatnot. It's pretty cool. It looks a lot better than the belt itself. These Amazons, I put them C tier. Very gory, made for old fans who grew up. So these shows are a lot more gory, a lot more horror. Yeah, kind of monstery because people turn into monsters, and then you got like dismembered body parts and them eating it and all that stuff. So yeah, made for adult audiences or people who are, you know, mature enough to take it. But the story wise, it was okay. I think my favorite suit was the blue guy. I forgot what he was, but yeah, it was pretty cool. X8 S tier. X8 just makes me reminisce of like playing Super Mario Bros. And then getting the star power and just going through a level and whatnot after failing it 500 times, that type of thing. Yeah, my suit, the X8 suits are pretty awesome too. They even have like a zombie guy in there, which the suit looks freaking awesome. So yeah, a lot of good things to say about X8. Build B, not A, B. Build, I think my most favorite thing about Build was the dragon guy in there, just because he's like a very fun character to watch. He's also a character that appeared, the actor that played the dragon guy, also appeared in Amazon, the newer gory horror version. But yeah, Build was okay. The world got splitted into 3 factions. Not the world, but Japan as a country. And then like all these things happen and whatnot. It was an okay story. I am very shortening it by a lot, but yeah, it was okay. ZOs, maybe put him A, maybe put him top of B. Probably put him bottom of A. ZOs is another time-based Kamen Rider. He literally has a clock on his face. Oh yeah, Build's gimmick is little bottles that you shake, and then ZO's is little watches, like those pocket watches. That's what ZO's gimmick is. But it was okay. It's more of a reminiscent of all the past writers than his own kind of actual show. But the more storyline of the show is he will become like the supreme ruler of time, and will become like a god king of time, and everybody will hate him and want to attack him. But he just wants to be like a good king and whatnot. His aspirations are like Luffy. You know how Luffy wants to be the pirate king? His aspiration is he wants to be like a king that's good to everybody and all that stuff. So it's okay. It's a fun watch. But yeah, it's honestly, now I think about it, it's whatever, honestly, but it's still good to watch. The suit design is not my favorite though. The suits are not my favorites. 01 B. 01 AI versus humans. AI is gaining sentience. And then the thing I hated the most about this series is that they added comedy to it. And like the comedy doesn't really deserve to be in it. Like they could have done comedy like Forze and O's and Gaim, like very what is it? Not slapjack. A slapstick. They could have done like slapstick comedy, that type of thing. But no, it was whatever. The suit designs were okay. When I first saw it, it was super lackluster. But they are reminiscing towards the older versions that look very Beetle-like, even though he's a grasshopper. Some of the later suit designs look cool. I think 02 is my most favorite one of the series, but not much to say on the rest of it. Saber, A. Kamen Rider Saber's A. They have a whole Knights of the Round Table thing going on. Their powers are based off of stories, because I think one of the books is like Jack and the Beanstalk, the Three Little Pigs. They had those type of stories as powers for books, so it's okay. Hansel and Gretel is also in there. It's okay. Some of the story is a bit weird. It gets a bit cringy. Power of friendship, all that stuff. It does get a bit cringy, and all that stuff, but it's whatever. So that's all I have to say. The designs of the suits, though, are pretty awesome. My favorite design is the white lion that the water guy becomes. Now, Revised, this guy, very new. Saber has not ended yet, but Revice is coming out very soon in September of 2021. It looks awesome. Has a dinosaur theme going on. I think most dinosaur theme things tend to go very well because they kind of hit a good general public, and I think dinosaur things are just pretty cool. What was it? I think the gimmick for this one, the gimmick for Saber is books and a sword, and then the gimmick for Revice is stamps. So you kind of stamp things and all that stuff. So Revice looks like a very cool idea so far. I think he's like the not 50th writer. I think like, what was it? I don't remember, but he's very high up there in the number. So yeah, that's my tier list of this guy. From design by itself, I put him S tier. From just the design of the suit. But, you know, this is a tier list on what I'd recommend people to watch and what I like the most. Of course, I'd probably put Zio a lot lower. But I think it's really... I like it, though. But then I kind of don't like it. So I'll just put an A. Just because it was a bit more entertaining because you got to see the past writers in it. And it made it pretty cool to watch. But yeah, this is just my list, my tier list. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know, I'm going to end the video here. Comment down below. You know, if you guys seen this, you guys seen Kamen Rider, know of Kamen Rider. Comment down below your favorite Kamen Rider or your favorite design for the suits. You know, or just story-wise, what you like the most. Music-wise, what you like the most. My favorite music of all the Kamen Riders is Kiva, mostly the violins. Whenever they play the violin in Kiva. Second would be Kabuto, but suit wise would be Kiva is my number one of all time. So yeah, if you guys couldn't tell, I really like the darker, grittier costumes, but also Kiva is just really cool. My second would be Kabuto and then Kuga though. So yeah. This is the end of my tier list. Comment down below what are your top 3 suits or top 3 shows that you like the most. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I don't know if I want to make a Power Rangers one though. Or Super Sentai. Because I'm kinda on a nostalgia trip. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.